lot of drinking going on. The pandemic made me drink. The pandemic made me drink. Hey Smart Mouthy, it's Holly and welcome back. So in the month of July, we are talking about the pandemic made me. Sounds like there should be like a really deep voiced announcer. The pandemic made me, like with echo. Maybe I'll make a special effect, see if I can try to figure it out. But so what the heck did I do during the 77 days of shutdown? So I'm going to link the previous video up here somewhere so you know what this month's topic is going to be all about. And first, as I tell you what I did during the pandemic and what the pandemic made me do, especially during the 77 days of shutdown for me, there's a little story time. Sort of has nothing to do with the pandemic, but it did happen within the timeline of the pandemic. So the pandemic started, I guess, in Asia, worked its way across Europe, and then finally hit in the United States. I'm in the United States. So in January, it was hitting in Asia and making its way through Europe. So this sort of started, my story time starts in January, although it feeds into exactly what I did during the quarantine shutdown. So first story time, then I'll show you what I did. So I'm a meditator. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Some people meditate, some people pray, some people, sing, do whatever. I was listening to some Icaros. My husband had come back from Ecuador in October of 2019, and he had come across Icaros, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce them, but it's kind of a rhythmic meditation music. I don't want to talk about that this whole video, but I will put the spelling out here and you can do your own research about what that music is. Anyway, it's very relaxing and it can help you kind of meditate. Anyway, so I'm laying on the floor. It was January. I was laying on the floor in the living room and listening to this rhythm, and it's very peaceful. It's very soothing. It's really, really relaxing, really wonderful. And normally, like, I just clear my head, but something kind of just popped up and, stuck into my head. And after a few minutes, I kind of sat up. I remember sitting up on the floor, and it was like, I am gonna draw. This was such a random thought that came into me. Let me back up a beat and let you know, I am not an artist. One would claim that I'm an artist because I'm in the hair industry, and that can be very creative. I'm also a dancer, and that can be very creative and can be very artistic, but I wouldn't say I'm an artist. Like, I don't put that down on a resume, and I think the last time I drew, besides Pictionary or a little doodle sketch or something, the last time I drew, I think it was in the 8th grade. I had an art class. It was in the 8th grade, and we were supposed to draw. The school was in the middle of a very old subdivision, and they had these old Victorian houses. It's actually the subdivision near where my mom currently lives. My grandmother lived there. And we walked outside the school, this art class, and I remember having this big poster board, and I sketched an old house And then we went back into the class and like colored it in and worked on it for several weeks. And I kind of tightened in on the house and did like the porch and maybe a window and like flower boxes. It was not spectacular. Let's just say I didn't take a lot of art classes in high school. I took a lot of choir. I was an like a arts major in high school, but it was leaning on choir. I took a lot of choir classes, vocal theory, music, and things like that. So it wasn't really art in regards to drawing. So go back to January of 2020, literally January 2020. I sit up and I was like, I am gonna draw. And my husband, who's an artist, has a lot of like little notepads and sketch pads and tons of different pencils, like a million different size pencils that I don't even know what that's like, what's about. I do now. But I grabbed a pencil, any old pencil, and a little sketch pad, and I was like, I'm gonna draw a lion. Random. Well, lion's my absolute favorite animal in the world. In fact, I have a tattoo of a lion. It's a very old tattoo. I'm about to show you, but please, it is so old. Like, it's not even gonna look like a lion anymore. Like, it's so faded and like gross. It's supposed to be a lion, but it's literally like, I think it was my second tattoo, which I must have been like 19. So it's pretty old. So I was like, I'm just gonna sketch a lion. And, sorry. And so it's like, I come from the school of thought that I never assume that I can't do it. And I don't know where that confidence comes from, because I can't draw, but I literally thought I can't not do it. Does that make sense? It's not that I can't do it, it's that I haven't done it. So I'm gonna show you. I am gonna show you the very first thing in January of 2020. Pandemic's coming, like it is coming, because we got shut down in March. So just 2 months before the shutdown, and I make my first drawing in years. Can't believe I'm about to show you, but I'm going to. So again, I took a pencil, any old pencil, and I have this is a tiny little sketchbook, and I just decide I'm gonna draw. And that was my little lion drawing. And I was like, oh, well, okay. That was okay. And I was just like so inspired for some reason. My husband came home from work, because he was still, he was going to work. And he was like, did you just do that? And I was like, yeah, it just took me a couple minutes. Like, and he was like, so he starts handing me all of these art supplies. He was like, you never told me you could draw. I was like, I didn't say I couldn't, but I don't feel like I'm an artist. I don't feel like I can draw. I'm creative. Anyway, fast forward to maybe a month later, he had just kind of thrown all of these art supplies at me. Oh, and for Valentine's Day that year, Valentine's Day 2020, which was February, he gave me a huge, like 200 pack of fancy colored pencils. And so I took off with that too, but honestly, my favorite, I think, is graphite. I think I love a charcoal or graphite and he gave me all of these like weird stuff that I didn't know what to do with at the time, but just trying to figure it out. And it clicked with me that this is like makeup. And I ran in the other room and I had some really old e.l.f., like really cheap e.l.f. brand makeup eyeshadow brushes. And so I started using the eyeshadow brushes with the pencil to help like contour, just like I would here, you know? I mean, it's the exact same thing. And Paul's like, my husband's like, well, look at how you're shading. And I'm like, well, I shade my face every day. And my face doesn't look like this. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, you know exactly how to do where the light is. He's like, you know, he took classes, you know, to learn how to do that. But you can't quite shade the same way with colored pencils. So one of my very first colored pencil sketch, again with I love animals, I love drawing animals. So that was my very first attempt, kind of using the colored pencils that had given me in February. And then I did a whole series of smaller sketches with like ladies with wild colored hair. Why? I was like, oh, I'm just gonna draw what I know. And what is it I know? I know hair. So I just started drawing. And then I tried to go through, you know, different body parts. So I was kind of playing around. And then the governor shuts down all personal services. And of course that includes a hair salon. And that's my source of income. Touching someone is my source of income. There's no other source of income. I have to touch you in order to make a living. And during a pandemic, you can't really do that. So the governor of Kentucky shut down all hair salons, it shut down everything. And part of me was so grateful for that. And after, you know, 4 or 5 days of good freak out, and trying to get all of my finances in order, where I called my mortgage company to put on a deferment and, you know, go through the unemployment to get, you know, the COVID checks, which was nothing. I got $189 a week. So I got all that squared away, and I thought, I'm gonna have to busy myself or I'm going to lose it. So I'm sitting at the dining room table, and I had already gotten some sketch pads. You know, my husband had, you know, really encouraged me, and I had all this time on my hands, and he was still working, so he could work from home. So he didn't miss a beat. And I just decided I was going to start drawing. And in order to produce a very small amount of income, I decide, after 20 years of knowing my clients and talking about everything, I would start drawing their pets, because I love drawing animals. Like, I'm much better at animal drawing than people drawing. And I was like, I'm going to draw pets and see if somebody would buy them. Like, literally maybe 40, 45 bucks, which is nowhere close to my actual income. But I thought, let me just draw, see if somebody wants to buy them. And several people bought them. I will include some photos at the end of the commissioned pet portraits that I was doing for the 77 days of shutdown. I don't have them here, but I'm going to show you a few more things that I drew as well, but at the end I will put some of the commission drawings that I shipped out. I either mailed them or I delivered them, where I would, you know, go and put them on their porch. Of course, I had these big envelopes, plastic envelopes to protect them, and then I would deliver them to the porch because I just needed to get out of the house and drive my car, you know. And so yeah, but I'll show you a couple of the other animal sketches that I have here that I didn't sell, just for the fun of it. Ooh, this one. This one's actually on a t-shirt, so that's another whole, you know, the pandemic made me. I opened a t-shirt business and I put this. So this actually, I did prints in different colors, and so there's like t-shirts with him, like with a purple hue and a green hue and a pink hue, and so I just took a photo on Procreate, which is an iPad app, and then I traced it and digitized it, and then was able to just change the colors, and then threw it over to Printful, and then put it on my Etsy. So I'll put my Etsy link down here if you wanted to go and look at him, but he was a lot of fun. And then I'm just really terrible at faces, but that's one I tried. It wasn't the greatest. I just practiced different faces. Ooh, this was fun. I think that's it of the big ones. Most of these are animals. He's also on my Etsy store. I digitized him and made him in different colors. I think he's on a tote bag. But that was another one where I had practiced shading. And this is like a dragon, or I don't know, maybe a dragon. I think we were watching Game of Thrones. But this is another one where I really learned, you know, more of that shading. And this was with makeup brushes. This was, you know, all of that shading detail with makeup brushes. And it came so easy to me to just figure out how to contour, because I contour my face all freaking day. It's another lion. Oh, I love her. I like this one. And then I did my sister's cats. That's Louie, he's the bad one. But then I did a sweet, sweet one. Lizzie, where is she? Oh, let me find Lizzie before I show you. There's pretty Lizzie. She's a sweet, sweet snuggler. And then a friend of mine has the goofiest dog, and he reminds me of Marmaduke, and she had given him a bath and took a photo of him miserable in the bathtub, and so I drew it. I should probably give that to her. Anyway, this is just a sampling of what I did during the pandemic. So I will leave, there's another eye. This is a different one where I thought, I always like test to see if I've progressed. Like I'll do the same idea over and over to see, I don't know, how it's progressing. Did I get better? I do a lot of eyes. I don't know, I think eyes are incredible. Which one's your favorite? Oh. More and more lions. I I think I have a female lion in here. Where is she? Oh, my husband was drinking a lot of bourbon. We were drinking a lot of bourbon because we're stuck in Kentucky for 77 days. So that is an old fashioned. I thought I had a girl lion. Where's my pretty girl? I skip pages in this. I can't just turn pages. I skip them in case something, you know, goes off the corner. Oh, that's mushrooms. That is an oyster mushroom. If you're familiar with oyster mushrooms, that's kind of the underneath of them. And that was a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to like shade and create and push, you know, just push the color in. And that's one of, oh, there's the girl. She's pretty. I thought I had another lady lion. I did a lady lion skull. Ooh. And that's with makeup brushes. Look what I can do. I think that's it for this little sketchbook. A lot of the, you know, ones that I mailed out were big, like that size. There's one more. I was like, oh, I forgot I was gonna show these. So I did a whole cocktail series. I was gonna frame these, but I don't know, they didn't turn out quite like I was thinking. But it was fun nonetheless because there was a lot of drinking going on. The pandemic made me drink. The pandemic made me drink. And draw. Drink and draw? I did drink and draw. After I got the green light to reopen, the drawing came to a very strong halt because I had to hustle. And I couldn't hustle the same way. If I could have reopened the exact same way that I had been working in 2019, it would have been completely different. But there was still so much restrictions and sanitation protocols. Of course, I had many sanitation protocols for being a salon owner, and they kicked up. Not only was it the physical sanitation, but then the air quality control that needed gapping, meaning that if a client spent 2 hours with me, I had a 30-minute gap between her or him and then the next client to help control the air in the small space for protection, you know, of other people. So that meant I had, where in 2019 I had taken 5 to 6 clients a day, and that's hustle, okay? And after I reopened, it was 2 clients a day, maybe 3. I'm done. I can't physically push my body. And then after a few months of hustling, so I reopened in June of 2020 and I got Epstein-Barr December of 2020. So I had maybe 6 months of really aggressive hustle and stress and body shut down. And then I really couldn't hustle. I had to actually gap still in order to lay down between clients because I had PEM and ME. You can watch a video, I'll link it up here, that tells you all about my Epstein-Barr story. But I wanted to share what I was doing in the 77 days of shutdown. So I'm going to end the video and put a bunch of my commission artwork, and I hope that you found this fun. If you hated it, then let me know. If you loved it, let me know. And I hope maybe to inspire you to draw. And I love drawing. I don't have a lot of time for it now, but sitting at the kitchen table or the dining room table for 77 days, I did a lot. So I will see you later this month. Don't forget, there's a very special guest coming maybe next week. And I'll talk to you real soon. See you later. Bye.